Hi, everyone. I wanted to record this quick video to talk about why we built Publisher Connect and give you a quick demo of the platform as well as our marketplace. So we talk to B2B media companies every single day, and we have so many customers in the B2B media space, and they're all kind of facing some of the same structural problems. One is direct sales teams can only talk to so many accounts. Meanwhile, there's a long tail of advertisers that would love to do more business with us, but really don't have the budget that is required in order to have that direct relationship. On top of that, we've got some really significant changes around the way people like to buy. Younger buyers really want a frictionless sort of self-serve transactional experience. So we built Publisher Connect to really solve these problems. It's a white labeled self-serve platform that lets B2B media brands offer effortlessly an opportunity for that long tail of advertisers to buy directly from them and leverage their high value audiences. It gives them a direct automated access to these highly verified first party audiences that we all have, allowing them to buy programmatic campaigns offsite anywhere that those professionals go on the internet. It's real time, real place solution. It's a right time, right place solution to capture revenue you used to have to walk away from. So let's take a look at the platform. You can see I've got a fully white labeled example here, and there are three basic capabilities that are in place for every publisher. So in the main dashboard, you've got campaign setups, the ability to set up organizations like advertisers or agencies under your publishing umbrella, and then setting up users and assigning invitations for them. So let's look first at the organization setup. Here you can select the different types of organizations you can set up. Most of the time, those are advertisers, and they are set up under a parent organization or publisher. Here you can see an example of the publisher, in this case, Alured Media, and two sets of advertisers or two different advertisers set up under them. One, a direct advertiser, and the second, an agency. So there's many ways to set the platform up to accommodate our different types of customers. Now let's take a look at campaigns. Creating a campaign is really simple, and we'll go through that here in a second. But down below, you can see all the different campaigns and their different statuses, where they are in the process, the budget, the start and end date, and all of the specific metrics of the campaign once it's in field. Here also, once a campaign is in field and delivering, you can also bring up a report that would show deeper, richer details about the campaign, like day-by-day pacing and the effectiveness of different creatives. So this is sort of the way that an advertiser would be able to capture their reporting for their campaign. So let's set up a campaign. Let's do a test campaign for summer sun, which all of us are enjoying right now in the summer of 2026. Let's create the campaign. The first selections are really around channel. What channels do I want to select? This last channel opportunity, this last button, is really something that's set up to be a lead generation tile. So let's just pick display. As I pick display, you'll see I've got a next step plan, but also I've got my campaign forecasting window that pops up. And that's going to give me updates on how I'm progressing around building my campaign. So I'm going to put this under the advertiser of MAC Cosmetics. I choose my time frame, which I'm going to actually take this through the end of October. I put a budget, let's say $10,000. I have two algorithmic approaches to optimizing my campaign. I can choose increasing reach or maximizing clicking users. Let's do that. And then the remarks section is really here to provide any kind of special requirements, details about tags, maybe how you want the creatives rotated. All of that material is here to be given and directed to the ad operations team. So now as I take my next step, I'm starting to fill in my campaign forecasting window. I've basically purchased, or I've started to purchase 100,000 impressions. Now, this is where the magic of our audiences comes in. We have audience types here, and think of this a bit like a library. as we look at the selections that we have available to us, these are like the shelves of a library. We have functional discipline audiences, professional personas, different market sectors, or maybe even some market leader circle or some high level sort of ranked companies. So let's click on the functional disciplines to start. As we select that shelf on the library, we're now presented with different books that live on the library. So Alured Media is in the cosmetics industry, and one of their sort of high-level functional discipline audiences is salon spa owners and executives or senior managers. So we'll select that. Additionally, I might want to dip into the specific brands and bring in additional audiences. So I'm going to select functional disciplines from Skin Incorporated, one of their brands. As I look at this, maybe I want the cosmetologists, the estheticians, the non-medical practice professionals. And as I select audiences, you're seeing the change in my campaign forecasting here. My 100,000 impressions that I have purchased is giving me a potential reach of 55,506 users. Down here, we've got a little bit of detail about how that is calculated. And now we can go on to our next step once we've selected our audiences. The next step is to upload my creative. So I can browse files and upload them from my computer or drag and drop them from my desktop. Moving on to the next step. This is the stage of the process where we save our changes. And once those changes are saved, I now have the ability to submit them for review. And this is very similar to an action that you would take in like LinkedIn or Meta. I'm also presented with this advertiser terms and conditions, which basically says, yes, I'm going to pay the publisher for the use of these audiences and for this campaign. I can agree to those terms and conditions, and once I do, this is now submitted into review. So now I've got my campaign, test summer campaigns, Summer Sun, and it is in review. And as I showed you here, the reporting tab is not available until we have some metrics basically running on that campaign. So it's as simple as that to create a campaign for your advertiser. And another thing that I really want to share with you at this point is how to drive net new advertisers to this opportunity. So here you'll see Publisher Connect's marketplace. Each of our publishers has a high value listing in the marketplace where they can basically merchandise their audience segments, their library, if you will. You'll see in the marketplace listing sort of high level metrics or sort of macro view of the publisher's audiences, as well as getting into specific brands that live and exist within that publisher's ecosystem, all of the unique audience segments that have been merchandised out of their audiences, as well as a way to build a shelf in the library, if you will, for their events and in-person opportunities. And that is essentially the landing zone for a significant amount of marketing activity that Leverage Lab does to pull net new advertisers into this opportunity through Publisher Connect. So thanks so much for letting me put this together. And we are very excited about the opportunity with Publisher Connect. You can head on over to publisherconnect.ai and check out the existing marketplace at this point in time. And we'll look forward to possibly building a portal for Publisher Connect. Thanks.